On the one side tonight, we have Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, is national spokesperson of the BJP and political advisor to Rajnath Singh. And we also have on that side tonight, we have Prem Shukla, executive editor of Dopair Ka Samna, so the BJP and Shiv Sena points of view. I'm delighted to have, I think for the first time on the Newshour tonight, Professor Mridula Mukherjee, the very respected professor of modern history at JNU, one of India's preeminent historians. Professor Mukherjee, welcome to the Newshour. Thank you very much. I look forward to your active participation in shows to come as well. Sanjay Jha represents the Congress point of view, and Aslam Ghoni is a former Advocate General of the JNK, previously associated with the National Conference. The last time he came on the program, he said, don't call me a National Conference spokesperson. Tonight, I am making that clarification. Thank you very much. Now, Sudhanshu Trivedi, you know, the problem is, why does Amit Shah play politics over national icons? I mean, you are now in power. Why are you playing politics over national icons? Dr. Trivedi, you may want to appropriate the legacy of Sardar Patel to yourself, but why do you have to do so by pitting Sardar Patel against another of the country's founding fathers and the first Prime Minister of India, whose contribution to strengthening of Indian democracy is unquestionable? I mean, what do you gain by saying if Patel had been there and Nehru had not been there, then we would have not lost out part of Kashmir? What is the relevance at all, Sudhanshu Trivedi, of that kind of argument? Maybe you'd want to begin by clarifying that point before we move on.
No, actually, there is a phrase which is used. If you try to forget the history, then the history destroys you. As far as the context in which Sri Amit Shah has spoken, I would like to point out one more point. There are so many boundary disputes in so many countries across the world, and even during the post-Second World War era. But the Kashmir is the only issue in the world in which...
No, but why do you blame Nehru for it? No, why do you blame Nehru? What you have said today, Amit Shah has said, it's historically wrong. I can ask Professor Mridula Mukherjee to come in.
No,
sir, historically it is wrong.
No. Let me complete the sentence.
You can't blame Nehru, no, sir.
This is the only dispute in the world,
sir, but
in which the powerful and bigger country moves to United Nations.
Sir, but you can't say...
Otherwise only...
Sir, but कोई factual basis तो हो. Trivedi ji.
India has moved to the United Nations.
Mr. Trivedi, let there be a factual basis for your argument.
And it is the only reason that the state belonged to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. The Junagadh was not a problem.
Sir, please.
Bhopal was solved.
Sir, don't twist
Hyderabad was solved.
You're twisting
But the only problem was the state in which Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru has taken interest.
I'll tell you.
And the result is
no, you're wrong. Prem Shukla can explain.
No, Arnav, I don't think he knows his history.
Prem Shukla would also like to come in
he doesn't know his history.
Would you like to accept that historically wrong? You know, you can make a political point, but your history should be right. Now, I'd like to share one point with you. And maybe then you can tell Sudhanshu Trivedi, before we open up the debate, you get Mridula Mukherjee as well. Historically, you admit, politically, Amit Shah may have made the point that if Patel had been there, Kashmir would not have been. Historically, it is wrong. You are aware of that.
I think this is not so.
Why?
In 1946, when Maulana Azad gave name of the Vice President of the Viceroy's Council, that name was of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and Maulana Azad wrote that I was not able to give the name of Sardar Vallabhai Patel because he was dealing with hard handle with the separatist movement people. This is the Maulana Azad written in his...
Amit Shah makes a very strong... No, what is Amit Shah says? Amit Shah... Was Amit Shah wrong or not? No, what does Amit Shah say? Amit Shah says... No, Amit Shah says even today...
Just to justify that point.
Amit Shah says even today...
Just allow me to give one to historical evidences.
Amit Shah's allegation...
Because you challenge it historically...
Yes, it is wrong historically. I'm telling you Amit Shah is wrong historically.
Trying to give my side of story.
But let me explain to you why it's wrong.
No, you can explain me.
Amit Shah is saying that even today...
But the first thing, there was a...
He's wrong historically and is politically unethical.
In the working committee of Congress, larger section was...
Don't twist it.
No, I'm not misquoting the history.
You are twisting. You're not misquoting, you're twisting.
They were for Sardar Vallabhai Patel.
So it is not Patel versus Nehru, Patel versus Nehru all the time.
Mahatma Gandhi negotiated a deal that Mr. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru will deal the foreign affairs.
So what are you doing to our country's history, sir?
Domestic affairs.
I'm very sorry.
And that is the reason he was given to unified 300 states.
I don't understand.
Princely states.
I don't.
And there was only a princely state.
I don't.
Was to be annexed to India.
I don't know
and
this.
That charge was given to Pandit Nehru. This is what the side of history Amit Shah is saying. You can correct. You have gotten that right.
Repeatedly, see what did Modi say? That if Sardar Patel had been first Prime Minister, not Nehru, India's history would be different. Now Amit Shah says if Sardar Patel had a choice and not Nehru, then all of Kashmir would have been with us. Now I think I'll get Mridula Mukherjee because I must factually get a couple of points here. My information is there was a bill for the separate constitutional provision for the state of Jammu and Kashmir was made by Gopalaswamy Iyengar in the Constituent Assembly. Sardar Patel, in response to him in the Constituent Assembly, said Kashmir has a special problem and therefore we are creating special provisions for it. This is Sardar Patel said it.
And that temporary provision.
No, Sardar.
And he's saying temporary provision.
No. Okay, Professor Mukherjee.
That's right.
Let Professor Mukherjee come in.
What are the minutes of the Congress working
Professor
committee
Mukherjee, now you
go
walk.
for that.
Okay, you walk straight into a big political debate. What's the reality?
Can I just clarify two things first? Number one, I think it's very important to state clearly that Sardar Patel was in charge of the integration of the Indian states. He succeeded in all the states except three: Junagadh, Hyderabad and Kashmir. So it was not that somebody else was in charge, and if Sardar Patel had been there, he would have managed to get the whole of Kashmir into India. Now this is prior to the Pakistani raid on Kashmir. Then comes the question of the attack on Kashmir. Now once the attack on Kashmir happens, and as you know, that is not even 3 months have passed since independence. First the tribesmen are sent in, and then from Delhi, VP Menon along with Sam Manekshaw as a very young officer land up there, and they go and meet Hari Singh, and Mahajan is his Prime Minister. It is the agreed opinion of the government of India that they must first get him to sign an instrument of accession before the Indian army is sent in. Otherwise, on what legal basis will the Indian army go there? And don't forget that in both Pakistan and India, it is the British officers who were still in charge of the armies. And Mountbatten was still the Governor General. So it's a very complicated situation. You can't have a romanticized, current BJP version of history and just go on talking about it as wishful thinking. I mean, these are just hard facts. After that, let me also emphasize that the entire military operations, the entire defense and military operations were overseen by Sardar Patel. And he had a complete free hand. That they could not push back the tribesmen and the Pakistani army, and a line of control as it exists, an armistice happened, is also a matter of the ground reality of what India could do at that time.
I think today...
So I think we need to get these three things very clear.
Even on that issue, Sardar Patel was advising in the cabinet against taking the Kashmir issue to the United Nations.
I think you're mixing things up. Now you're getting very confused.
And at that time,
she's responding to you.
When do United Nations?
Later.
No answer was yes, Mridula Mukherjee.
And okay. The issue of taking the matter to the UN comes later. Now here there is scope for, I think, a debate and discussion whether Nehru was right, whether Nehru was wrong. I mean, so many books have been written on it. There are lots of people who believe that there was nothing wrong with what he did. There are some people who believe that it was not the right thing to do. But it's not a matter of condemning Nehru one way. But let me clarify one thing. After some time, once the condition that was laid down was that only, well, if people keep shouting, I can't speak,
I'm not shouting.
I can only say that once it was clear that the condition which was laid down was that forces would withdraw and then a plebiscite would happen, Nehru said very clearly, sorry, no plebiscite in Kashmir. It was he who went on, and then the elections were held and the assembly passed a resolution, integration with India. And the Article 351, which came in the There was no difference of opinion was that. Let me tell you, Sardar Patel was more than willing to make any number of concessions to the princes, including privy purses, privileges, in order to get the states on board. So it's not as, he understood that integration was a very complex process. It's just as Modi understands today that talking to the Chinese is a complex process. You have Chinese troops coming in 5 kilometers into India and we are feeding and feasting them. That's diplomacy. That's foreign relations. It's complex. It's not simple.
I think the point is well made. I don't know if the BJP and the Shiv Sena representatives will retreat from the argument tonight. But, you know, you can't look at life in terms of binary opposites. BJP, Congress. Your dynasty is, you are the Gandhi dynasty. Now we are going to create a Patel dynasty. There appears to be a blatant politicization because you're pitting Nehru against Patel, Nehru against Patel. You take Nehru to take a jibe at the dynastic politics of the Congress, but that's fine. But why do you use Sardar Patel? Sudhanshu Trivedi, why do you use Sardar Patel to score a political point? Sanjay Jha, let's get the political debate started. Sanjay Jha, please.
And you...
Sanjay Jha, Sudhanshu Trivedi is quiet. I think he's concerned.
I just want to make one point, and I'm reading out and I'm telling you how Amit Shah...
The person who said Nehru would be my successor is Mahatma Gandhi.
Sanjay Jha, I think we start the political debate at this point. Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP appears to have conceded the debate. He's quiet. Sanjay Jha, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to quote for you, Arnab, a letter written by Sardar Patel to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in October 1947. And I'm quoting you exact words. No difference between you and me on matters of policy relating to Kashmir. If Mr. Trivedi wants, I can repeat that again. It exposes once and for all the distorted, disingenuous lie being said by Mr. Amit Shah, seconded by Mr. Trivedi, and obviously uttered by Mr. Modi as well. The second critical point that we need to accept here on this debate, that you have Amit Shah who went to jail on fake encounters for killing Indian citizens, commenting on a man who went to jail for several years fighting the British as a freedom fighter for the people of India. I mean, you can't make a debate politically so unethical just because you want to score cheap political points. I want to make another point here on your debate, that end of day, this is an attempt to vitiate a political environment. These are founding fathers. Sardar Patel and Jawaharlal Nehru were freedom fighters. They may have had differences on some issues, but the RSS was banned by Sardar Patel for creating a vitiated atmosphere.
We're not talking about that now. Though Mr. Trivedi can respond if he chooses to.
Sweets.
Mr. Trivedi can respond if he chooses
Mahatma
to.
Gandhi was assassinated. I mean, is this the kind of politics we need in India? And I want to make one more point, even on the issue of the Kashmir issue going to United Nations. At that point, in the circumstances that prevailed, the belief was that a plebiscite will go in favor of India, subject to Pakistan withdrawing from the areas that it had illegally occupied. But Pakistan never withdrew. The plebiscite never happened because the belief was that Sheikh
But you're also looking at it in a one-sided way. No, you're also looking at it in a one-sided way. You're also looking at it in a one-sided way because what has Amit Shah said? No, Amit Shah makes 2 points.
And Article 370, as Mridula rightly mentioned, as Mridula rightly mentioned, Article 370 was shepherded by Sardar Patel both in the Constituent Assembly and with the Congress Working Committee.
Yes.
And if the BJP
don't speak half-truths.
Sardar Patel, Sardar Patel was a man of his...
Don't speak half-truths.
If he did not believe in it, he would have never agreed on it.
Sanjay Jha,
please cut out this absolutely nonsensical...
Sanjay Jha,
why Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar denied to draft Article 370? Just, I want to need an answer. The chairman of the drafting committee of the constitution, late Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Bharat Ratna Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, he denied to draft Article 370. What was the reason? Please clear it.
And Sanjay, beyond that, even Nehru said in 1963 that the gradual erosion of Article 370 must continue. And the problem with sometimes being spokespersons is, Sanjay, and I don't know how you're going to take this, that, you have to push half-truths with complete conviction. What you are uttering today is a half-truth. Yes, Amit Shah may have been wrong on the fact that, you know, on dividing Nehru and Sardar Patel on the question of whether Kashmir would have been one or divided.
BJP, let me tell you, why don't you follow the Prime Minister's speech on Independence Day from the Red Fort? He mentioned all the leaders. He did not mention Pandit Nehru. The BJP manifesto mentioned everybody, did not mention
that your
Pandit
complaint?
Nehru. Because you see,
So
they believe that there is a political war to be fought with the Gandhi family. This party is so intellectually defunct, they will distort history.
Sudhanshu
for real
Trivedi,
politics being played
I
at the
think
current level
Sudhanshu
in
should
Indian
reply.
politics. That is the hard reality.
Aslam Ghani raises his hand. Yes, Aslam Ghani first.
I want to remind
Aslam Ghani first. 1 second,
Please
everyone. You can't take all the time, Sanjay Jha. 1 second.
What
Let Aslam Ghani come in now, please.
said in Parliament in 1964.
Let Aslam Ghani come in now, Sanjay Jha, please. Aslam Ghani raised his hand.
What were the glowing tributes paid by... No, 1 minute.
Your 1 minute goes on into 10 minutes, Sanjay.
This is question. Does
Please.
he not know what Atal Bihari Vajpayee said in Parliament?